The echo of the willow tree. In the heart of a small, quiet village, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there was a willow tree unlike any other. It stood alone at the edge of the village, its branches long and weeping, touching the earth as if listening for something hidden deep within the soil. The villagers spoke of the tree in hushed tones, for it was said to have a mysterious power, one that could reveal the future, but only for those who truly needed to know. The tree had been there for as long as anyone could remember. Legend had it that a traveler from a distant land had planted it centuries ago, and from the moment the first sapling touched the ground, strange things began to happen. Birds flew in odd patterns, animals behaved as though they had secret knowledge, and at dusk, the air around the tree shimmered with an almost ethereal glow. For generations, people came to the tree seeking answers. Some came to ask about love, others about loss, and a few came seeking guidance on the hardest choices life had to offer. The tree never spoke in words, but its whispers were said to reach the hearts of those who listened closely enough. One summer evening, a young woman named Alara walked to the tree. She had heard the stories since she was a child, tales of the tree's wisdom and its uncanny ability to reveal hidden truths. Alara, however, had never believed in magic. She had always been grounded in practicality, guided by logic and driven by reason. But that evening, she found herself standing before the weeping willow with a heart full of doubt and a mind heavy with questions. Her brother Elias had gone missing 2 weeks ago. The village had searched the woods, the streams, and every corner of the village, but there was no sign of him. Elara's heart ached with worry, and although the villagers whispered about the willow's powers, she never thought she would be the one to seek its counsel. But here she was. As the sun began to set, casting a soft golden glow over the fields, Alara sat beneath the willow's long, sweeping branches. She closed her eyes and waited, unsure of what she expected, but desperate for an answer. The air around her grew still, and the only sound was the gentle rustling of the leaves above. Then, a voice, soft and melodic, seemed to hum in the wind, and Alara's breath caught in her throat. "Why do you seek the answer you do not wish to hear?" The voice came from nowhere and everywhere all at once, a sound that resonated deep within her soul. Alara opened her eyes, but no one stood before her. She could only see the tree, its branches swaying gently in the evening breeze. "Elias," Alara whispered, her voice trembling. "I need to know where he is. What happened to him?" The willow's branches stirred, and for a moment it felt as though the world around her paused. Then the voice returned, more insistent this time. "Are you prepared to hear the truth?" Alara hesitated, her heart pounding. The truth? What if it was something terrible? What if Elias was lost forever, or worse, had met an untimely fate? But deep down, Alara knew that she couldn't continue living with uncertainty. She had to know. "I am ready," she said, her voice barely a whisper. The willow tree seemed to sigh, its branches swaying with a quiet rustle, as though it were gathering its thoughts. And then the voice spoke again, more clearly now. "Elias is not lost," it said. "He is where he must be. The path he walks is not yours to follow, but his own." Alara's heart skipped a beat. "What does that mean?" she asked, her voice shaky with both fear and hope. "Where is he? Why didn't he return?" The voice paused, the air growing thicker with silence. Then it continued, the words coming like a breath of wind. "He walks a path that will lead him to find himself. His journey is not for you to understand, but in time, you will see. He has crossed the boundaries between what is known and what is yet to be. You must trust that this is the way it was always meant to be." Alara stood up, her head spinning. Her brother, her beloved Elias, was on a journey that she could not comprehend. She wanted to scream, to demand more answers, but the willow tree remained silent, its branches still now, as if the conversation had ended. Her mind raced with confusion, but in the depths of her heart, something shifted. The weight of her worry seemed to lighten, replaced by a quiet understanding. She didn't know where Elias was or what path he was on, but the tree's words rang true in ways she could not explain. She had to trust in the unknown, in the journey that lay ahead, for both herself and her brother. As the last light of the sun dipped below the horizon, Alara took a deep breath. She could feel the cool night air settling around her, and for the first time in weeks, she felt a sense of peace. Elias was out there somewhere. He was on his own path, and one day, their paths would cross again. Alara turned away from the willow tree, a small smile tugging at her lips. She didn't have all the answers, but perhaps that was okay. Life was not about knowing everything, but about trusting the process and moving forward, one step at a time. And so Alara walked back to the village, her heart lighter, her mind clearer, and her spirit calmer. The willow tree stood quietly behind her, a silent guardian of the unknown, whispering its ancient wisdom to those who were willing to listen. The next day, the villagers would talk of the strange occurrence, how Alara had walked to the tree and emerged with a peace they had never seen in her before. They, too, would remember the legends of the willow tree, how it could reveal the future, but only to those who needed it most. But for Alara, the answer she received was more than a glimpse of the future. It was a reminder that sometimes the journey itself was enough.